UFC 298 is finally here, and I'm excited because this UFC card is the first one of many that are gonna be kind of fire, right? So we had 297, it was okay. Then we have 298, 299, and then 300, which should get us all the way to April. And then we're gonna have International Fight Week around June. So it's going to be a good spring, summer. If you're an MMA fan, a UFC fan, it's going to be great fights coming up. So definitely stay tuned. But the first fight that grabs my attention out of this card, the prelims are good, by the way. But the first fight that I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, let me see what's going on here. We have Henry versus Merab, right? I mean, there's not a lot you can say about Henry. The guy is an absolute legend. You know what I mean? Corny as fuck. I'll give you that. But he is an absolute legend, right? Olympic gold medalist. Became champion, became double champion in the UFC, and then retires at the top of the game, which is the way a lot of people should do it, right? But with doing that, it comes of like doing it at an early age. So the guy retires. He enjoys retirement. Obviously, he gets a little bit fat and whatever. And then what I think happens is he was kind of looking at a lot of the fame that a lot of these guys were getting, right? Like Sean O'Malley. I think that was the first one that kind of like, wow, this guy is getting this much attention, and I'm pretty sure I could beat him up, or, allegedly he thinks he can. Um, and then I will also give credit to Jon Jones because I think Henry and Jones are a little bit close. And it just so happens right around the time Jon Jones comes back and wins the heavyweight title, Henry's like, all right, I'm coming back too. So I think he was looking at some of those things. He was looking at the fame that Sean O'Malley was getting, and Sterling, how was he dominating the division, and then, well, not dominating, but defending the title a few times. And then he saw the way Jon Jones had a comeback and called him the GOAT. And if you know Henry, he thinks of himself as the GOAT. So obviously he had to come back. So he came back, obviously had a fight against Aljo. Did not go his way, but it was a close fight. I think it was a split decision, right, if I'm not mistaken. And some people gave it to Henry. So he lost that fight, and then a lot of people, including myself, thought, all right, well, that's it, right? Because even he himself said it, like, if I'm not fighting for gold, I'm not fighting at all. Like, I don't like to be second place, which is a little weird to say when you're an athlete, you're a combat sports athlete. But if you have an ego such as big as his, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like his ego is good. It's what got him to be in the position that he is in the first place. But once you get that ego of like, oh, I can't lose, like, I thought he was going to retire again and whatnot, but then here we are. Now he's fighting Merab. Tough fucking fight. And let me say something just real quick. A lot of people were not agreeing that Henry came back and got a title shot right away. I see your argument. However, I think that he does deserve it. I mean, when you look at the resume that he had before, right? For example, Khabib retired right at the top of his game too. If Khabib this has to come back right now, and I don't know, fight maybe welterweight or middleweight or something. I don't know. I mean, he's big, but obviously he's not that big. So let's take a lightweight. He wants to fight at lightweight. Let's say for some reason Islam loses the belt. Khabib comes back. He's fighting straight for the title, baby. He's not fighting, rank number 2 guy or rank number 3 guy. He's going straight for the motherfucking title. So I think that's what happens with Henry. I think Henry just said, well, I don't want nothing else. I want the title. And I think for him, he might have wanted it to be like a one and done, like just to prove people that I could do it, come back, defeat Aljo, and be done, right? And then retire again, and then just kind of establish yourself again as the division GOAT. However, that did not happen. He lost a close decision. So there was talks of probably retiring again and stuff like that. So the fact that he even took this fight, I give him a lot of props, bro, okay? Because he doesn't need this fight. The reason he took this fight it lets me know, like, hey, this guy wants a title shot again, right? He wants to fight either, Sean O'Malley or Chito Vera, whoever it is. It'll probably be Sean O'Malley, but he wants to fight for the title one more time. There is no way in hell he takes this fight if he's willing to be gone. And I'll tell you why, because this is a tough fucking fight, bro. Merab is an absolute fucking demon, bro. So the fact that he even took this fight is a major recognition against a fucking killer like Merab, bro. I mean, just look at Merab's last couple of wins. You have Peter Yan, you have Jose Aldo, Morales. Dude, this guy is a destroyer, bro. And a lot of people think he is up next. I mean, a lot of people think that he was up next. Unfortunately, I think he got a little backtracked. He got a little delayed because of Aljamain. I'm not saying it was his fault or there's any bad blood there. I'm just saying that they had this whole thing where like they're homies and they don't want to fight each other, right? So Merab had to wait for Aljo to leave the division, and now he can fight for the title. Now he can challenge for the title, right? So now he has to get past Henry. Obviously, obviously not an easy match either. I think what is going to be highlighted in this fight, a lot is going to be the wrestling. Obviously, we know Henry, Olympic gold medalist. He did get taken down by Aljo, though. And Merab is obviously training with Aljo because they're homies. So I feel like Aljo will be able to provide Merab with some insight of like, hey, this is how I was able to take him down. Let me help you out and see if this is how you can also take him down. So it's going to be interesting, man. On striking on the feed, I don't know. I feel like Merab is good. I feel like Henry's okay. I'll probably give the striking ability, I don't know. I feel like Henry might be a little better. Just he does hit a little hard when he was earlier in his prime. So, it is what it is. But it's a tough fucking matchup, man. It's going to be tough to watch also if Henry gets completely dominated. If Henry Cejudo gets completely dominated or KO'd in the first round or something, I think he's done. 100% he retires. He's like, all right, I can't hang no more. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back to the queue. So if that happens, he is 100% retiring. 100% retiring. So, what are the odds? I want to see the odds. Plus 170. Henry's a underdog. Okay, that's not a bad bet, bro. If you want to make some money, I think Henry will be a nice bet. I mean, straight money line. Fuck it. Once plus 170 for a GOAT. That's like if Khabib comes back and fights, I don't know, fucking, what's a killer in the Armin or Charles Oliveira. No, probably not Charles. This is a bad example. But let's say he comes back and fights up and coming guy like Armin Saryukin and he's somehow an underdog. This is not a bad bet. This is not a bad bet, but I think with Henry, a lot of it is mental too, bro. Once you get into a certain stage in your career, like Henry is, or a lot of the GOAT's conversations, the skill and the experience is there. You've put in your hours. You put in your miles, right? That's there. What you need to make sure you're doing going into a fight is have your mentality right. Because I feel like there's a shift that happens. I feel like earlier in your career, it's all about perfecting your craft, skill, and gaining the experience and putting in the hours. And you don't even think about the mentality of like, you don't even think about what's going on outside probably, right? About like, there's shit going on. Like you probably do, but you're probably so laser focused on winning and on fighting that you block that shit out. And then you get to a point where, okay, you might have been champion. You have a lot of fights under your belt. You know what you have to do when you get in there. Now you just have to have the motivation and the mindset to do it. Because if you don't, that's when things get bad. When GOATs lose, I don't think it's because of skill, because we know what they can do. We've seen it, right? And skill doesn't go away. You're not gonna forget how to throw a kick or how to fucking do a submission in a couple of years. No, you're not gonna do that. If you get once you're like 60, 70 and you haven't fought in like 20 years, then yeah, obviously. But if someone's like on their 30s and 40s and they're in this status where like they've had a ton of fights, the skill is there. There's no way skill by skill they won't lose against the up and coming guy. It's about the mindset. And it's about the fact that we are watching MMA, we're watching fighting, and anything could happen. I'm telling you, anything could happen, right? Jon Jones could go in there with a nobody. And if his mindset is not right, well, Jon Jones is kind of the exception because, yeah, he somehow manages to win even without being in the mindset. He goes on cocaine benders a week before his fights, and he still beats the best guys in the world. Speaking of Jon Jones, by the way, I'm a little disappointed. I know you all saw that video of him at a comedy club, comedy show, and he was just heckling. Bro, imagine being a comedian and you're doing your set, and usually what you do with hecklers is you roast them or you kind of insult them a little bit or you kick them out. Imagine being a comedian. You look down on your heckler and it's motherfucking Jon Bones Jones, bro. I mean, what do? I just let the guy be, honestly. I will be terrified. And not only Jon Jones, not only just him, Jon Jones plus alcohol, bro, which we all know it's not a good mix. Not a good mix at all. So I think Jon Jones needs to chill out. And by the way, oh my God, bro, we just need to talk about so much because that whole situation too, it's weird, right? He was injured, so he pulled out of the fight with Stipe. But now we're seeing videos of him tackling, playing football. I don't know what the video was exactly, but he tackled the dude and he was on it, bro. I mean, it was not a matter of just like playing games. He straight up tackled the dude. So yeah, Jon Jones has to get his shit together. And as far as Henry Cejudo and Merab go, I think it's good for the division if Henry wins this fight. I think that he's more marketable, obviously. But Merab has a skill set, man, and a lot of people think he will be champion no matter what. So if he's able to get under his belt, check this stat out. Check this little stat out real quick. Merab, if he defeats Henry, his last 3 fights, he has defeated back to back to back 3 former champs. Not only champs, legends, bro. Think about the 3 names that you have under your belt. Henry Cejudo, Jose Aldo, and Peter Yan. Those 3 on your resume is unbelievable, okay? I don't think who else has defeated all those 3 guys. Connor hasn't. Let's see. Sterling. Did Sterling fight? I know he fought Jan, but did he fight Aljo? I don't know if he fought Aljo. I have to go back and check. Sean hasn't done it. Like, that's not a fucking easy thing to do, obviously. And if he gets it done on 298, he's up next. 100% he's up next versus the winner of Sean O'Malley and Chito Vera. 100%. There's nobody more deserving than this guy if he wins against Henry. Even right now, the fact that you defeated 2 GOATs of the division, yeah, you should be up for a title. And he would be if he was more marketable. Merab would have a title, instead of Henry last. No, again, there's a whole thing about being friends with Aljo. So if that doesn't happen, right, if Aljo's not there out of the picture, and if Merab is a little more marketable, he would have been champion 2 years ago, 100% 2 years ago. After he fought Peter Yan in March, no, not 2 years ago, but he fought Peter Yan in March of 2023. So a little bit, almost a year ago. Yeah, he would have been your champion probably about 8 months ago. You know what I mean? Something like that. But again, you add the fact that he's not that marketable. He's a little he's not super cool and flashy like Sean and like other people. And you add to that the fact that his best friend, Aljo, was the champion and he didn't want to fight him. And Dana wasn't having that shit. Dana even was like, oh, fuck out of here. If you don't want to fight, if you don't want to be champion, I'm gonna root for you. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's a good fight. I'm calling Henry on that by decision. I don't think no one's gonna be knocked out or submitted. I'm excited to see the wrestling on this fight. I'm excited to see the grappling exchanges. I think those are gonna be fun. But other than that, I got Henry to win.